Hello and welcome once again everyone. Today I'm going to take a closer look at the brand new Russian cruiser, Smolensk, which is now available in the armory for coal. The Smolensk is currently causing a lot of consternation in the World of Warships community due to its very high DPM and high fire chance, but the Smolensk falls very much in the glass cannon category, capable of very high bursts of damage, but also prone to taking massive amounts of damage when focused or even prone to instant deletion. I've misplayed here due to simple miscommunication with my Summers clanmate. I'm being fired upon by a Smolensk division, and at Montana in the rear, the amount of incoming shells is quite insane. Despite being pretty well angled, I've taken about 60% damage in literally a few seconds. Well, that can swing both ways. Now the enemy division is caught in the open, and with some quick bursts of armor piercing, both enemy Smolensk go down with a sweet double strike. This is the Smolensk in a nutshell, capable of very high DPM, but very squishy when exposed to enemy fire. Moving on to the main highlights, and there are many reasons I've chosen this particular replay. In contrast to what I've seen in a number of videos about the Smolensk, I've chosen a build that both includes Concealment Expert and ifhe. The proposed changes to ifhe are not yet even in super test, so this build will remain valid for the coming 6 months at least. I've included the full ship build with upgrades and captain skills after the main highlights. I'm including the timestamp here on screen for your convenience, if you wish to jump ahead or simply for future reference. Just taking some quick salvos of opportunity on this enemy Smolensk before I pass before this island. Islands will be some of your greatest friends in this ship. He did repair the fire and the broken rudder, so that second fire has stuck. It's continuing to burn. Just going to use the cover of this island while these midway planes are still flying around here over the Shimakaze. The whole idea of playing with Concealment Expert is to play a more advanced role, with the express plan of assisting friendly destroyers to counter the enemy DDs and capture the objectives. While playing a full range build, sitting deeper in relative safety is a role many will enjoy and can lead to these massive damage games. I personally find it just lacks impact. I like to be involved in the fight, doing what I can when I can to try and swing the match in my favour. And let's be honest, we all want to win games, right? That enemy Smolensk has smoked up. Z-52 is spotted. He's pushing in quickly on our Shimakaze, who's now quite low. Do take some enemy fire from behind the island. Shimakaze goes down, unfortunately. Managed to get a couple of incapacitations on that Z-52. Now this is not a very good situation. Both Smolensk on each side have now used their smoke screens, and with our Shima down we lose all visibility with no target spotted. It's a common mistake to just instantly smoke up and shoot with the Smolensk, but hard spotting on the enemy is always required, which can be especially challenging during thunderstorms, when ship spotting is vastly reduced in range. These are very much conditions that do not suit the Smolensk well at all, as being surprise spotted at 8 kilometers by a battleship, for example, will usually mean a speedy return to port. I personally prefer to keep my smoke generator in case of emergencies, as a get out of jail free card, so to speak. It would appear now the enemy team is pushing down the 9-10 line. Point has just been captured, so the Z-52 is still in the capture zone. Activating hydro. There's the enemy Montana. Can quickly fire from stealth using the island. Smolensk is spotted. Shimakaze smokescreen is still there. I have been spotted. There's enemy Z-52. Open fire instantly. With the reduced dispersion in thunderstorms, I usually like to aim a little higher instead of the waterline. You can see these guns are extremely effective against destroyers. So it gets undetected. But we managed to take him down. Smolensk is reversing. Instantly switch targets. Get a fire, he just gets undetected, it's unfortunate. Incoming fire alert. Oh, and there's a second Smolensk camping the corner of that island, and that's unfortunate. And this is the risk posed by thunderstorms. With reduced visibility, you get less information about the position of enemy ships. And now I've been caught in a situation. Okay, at least I can take out that Smolensk, but I'm going to have to smoke up. This Smolensk has me zeroed in, I have to stop shooting. He's really nailing me here in the smoke. First here, I've popped a heal. He's in-capped my two front guns. Continue to reverse away. He has torped. Both Smolensk have torped, it would seem. And I've been forced to pay a heavy price here. Smolensk can really feel quite unforgiving. One positional error has cost me virtually all my HP. Yeah, those are torps from the Smolensk. Friendly Smolensk is coming in to support, which might explain why the enemy Smolensk stopped shooting. So I'm just going to continue to cap here and fall back. After taking such a thorough beating by that enemy Smolensk, it's going to severely limit my ability to be aggressive, forcing me into a more defensive posture for the moment, which will hopefully give me the time to heal back some of this damage. With this ship build, I still have a range of 16 kilometers, which is more than enough to engage opponents without hopefully getting instantly deleted. Rapidly fire off some risk-free volleys from stealth on this enemy Montana. I'm reluctant to chase a lone battleship from this position. The Montana is already being engaged by our Yamato, our Shimakaze and Smolensk, so I'm more inclined to take up a more central position, where I can respond quicker to threats on the objectives, of which we currently have captured and under our control. I can never stress enough, no matter what ship you are playing, is to always focus on the objectives, whenever possible. During these brief moments of downtime, one should always try and analyze the state of play, not just the positions and directions of the enemy, but of friendly ships as well. I can see one of our destroyers, the Shimakaze, is pushing up in the gap between the islands, and should be momentarily in a position to spot the enemy Smolensk. So I'm just playing the waiting game for now. Sure enough, the Smolensk gets detected, and would seem to be turning back. There is no way I can actually kill him from this position. I simply want to deter him from reapproaching this point, ensuring it remains under our control. A quick couple of AP salvos and he continues to turn away, both from our Shima and this capture point, and that's exactly what I wanted. The enemy Montana has finally been taken out on my left flank, which will free up those three ships to be able to advance towards the Smolensk. Let's get another quick couple of salvos off from stealth. One penetration, one ricochet. Not surprising from this range, really. Our Yamato has been taken out by the Gabarovsk's torpedoes. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Our right flank has folded. Enemy Shimakaze quickly spotted there. And Moskva just over 14 kilometers away. So I'll have to stay outside his radar range. Did manage to get a couple of hits on that Shimakaze. I'm just going to put down some shells on that enemy Moskva, who's entered the Shima smokescreen. Both the radar ships are here. The Salem is spotted as well by our Shimakaze. Let's get some salvos off on the Salem. Enemy Yamato is spotted. Just gonna wait for him to fire and then smoke up. And I'm slightly misjudged here. Our Shima was actually sailing across his path, so I've lost vision. That's just a miscalculation on my own part. To manage to set him on fire. He is spotted by the Shima on the far side, so I can resume fire on the Salem. He is attempting to reverse around the corner of that island, and he is angling against the Smolensk on the far side. Moskva is spotted again, and he would seem to be reversing there. Lost detection. Second salvo harmlessly hits the island. Do manage to set him on fire. Switch over to the enemy Yamato, who has taken out her car first in the process. Need to readjust my aim. He is slightly turning in towards me. Enemy aircraft coming in. Activate my AA sector defense, and despite not running the defensive AA consumable, the anti-aircraft on the Smolensk is still very effective. Torps coming in from the Shimakaze, which is going to force me out of my smoke here. It's not ideal, as there are enemy aircraft overhead. I have managed to shoot down the majority of them. Just going to resume fire on this Yamato. Another wave of Shimakaze torps coming in. Incoming fire alert. That wasn't the Yamato. They are coming from B. Seem to be the Shima is shooting at me from capture point. He has got spotted. That Shima would appear to be very over enthusiastic, and it's quite a big mistake on his part. As a destroyer, you should never really fire your guns when you're close to actually capturing a point. Just take a deep breath, hold your fire, capture the point, and it allows me to get a couple of resets on him. Enemy Kaba has taken out our Yu Yang. Just going to quickly slow down here, avoid this incoming fire from the Yamato. Those were quite close. We've got an enemy Kaba on our flank. I have managed to drop detection, but I will be forced to deal with this Kaba as he's a huge threat. He's already taken out a number of ships here. He is plane spotted, attempting to hit a maneuvering Khabarovsk at range. Can be quite challenging. Did manage to take out his rudder there. I have to maintain this angle because the enemy Yamato is still very close to B and is unspotted. I have to present as little as target as possible. Continue shooting this Kaba. Do manage to set him on fire. Just get undetected again, that's unfortunate. This enemy Yamato is still unspotted. I'm a little nervous about making this turn. There's no incoming fire alert, so he's not aiming at me. Do drop detection. Just going to continue to close on the B capture point and close the distance on this Khabarovsk. A friendly carrier is sending out attack planes once again. He should be able to locate and spot the Kaba. Enemy Yamato is spotted again once behind that island. Can fire here with virtual impunity at the Yamato. Smolensk has taken out our Shimakaze, who, for some strange reason, seemed to figure out that chasing the enemy CV was a good idea, while ignoring the objectives. Gaba is spotted once again. He is still maneuvering and taking fire from those attack planes. The Shimakaze has taken out the Yamato, and that's a big plus. We are down 6-4 on ships and behind on points and caps. Enemy Gaba seems to have realized his number is up and has started to return fire. He's still at this range that can be a little bit tricky to hit. I need to get my rear guns firing as well. He just managed to set me on fire. But it's only light damage. I'll just continue to let this fire burn. He has angled away. Managed to get a couple of hits there. And we finally managed to take out that enemy Gaba. It's rapidly approaching do or die time in this match. We're down 5 ships to 3. Over 100 points behind and still down 2 caps to 1. I'm going to have to be forced to push in and attempt to capture, or at least block this B capture point. Friendly Shimakaze is taking a beating. Would seem he has survived that onslaught from the Smolensk and Moskva. I'm able to lob shells over the corner of that island. Get the Confederate achievement. Moskva has turned in. Do you manage to set him on fire? Take out the enemy Moskva. Brings us a little bit closer. Pop my hydro. Shimakaze is just around this corner. And I'm hard spotted as well, so there's 2 destroyers here. What is this Shima doing? He's probably just waiting for me to come around the corner and torp. See me say AFK maybe. Torps from the other Shima. That Shimakaze either went AFK or just gave up, giving me a free kill, which I'll always take. Other Shima is spotted and attempting to flee. A lot of incoming fire from the Smolensk. Gonna have to turn to my right and try and put the island between us. This is bad. The enemy Midway is coming in. Activate my priority sector. Try and get this Shima. Oh, and we managed to take out the Shimakaze, and that puts us into the points lead. Enemy rockets coming in. Oh, I can't believe he missed. And somehow we've managed to pull this back. The Smolensk is now in a position where he's unable to fire. He is spotted by our Midway. I do assume he will attempt to rush, so I'm just going to torpedo that gap. Time is counting down. Just over 40 seconds left. Gonna have to smoke up. Enemy planes are coming in again. A breath of fresh air is enough to take me out of this game now. See, my aid is relatively undamaged. I've taken virtually 0 HE spam during this game. I can barely look. Oh, and leading luck is on my side. Managed to take out 9 planes. Another one. And the timer counts down. That indeed was too close to call. I have to admit I really enjoy playing the Smolensk in this advanced role. May not be a very high damage game, but high impact with over 3100 base XP. Before going to the complete ship build, I've added some links including the Help Me Discord and my own personal Discord in the description below. Now on to the build. When composing these ship builds, I always make a point of recommending premium consumables. Not only will you get additional charges of hydro, smoke, and most importantly repair parity, they also have reduced cooldown times, which can greatly increase your survivability and effectiveness in combat. Smolensk gets 6 ship upgrade slots, starting off with Main Armaments Mod 1, Damage Control Mod 1, Aiming Systems Mod 1, Propulsion Mod 2, Concealment System Mod 1, and finally Gunfire Control System Mod 2. Onto the captain skills. Being top tier and a premium ship, it's most likely you have a competently trained captain at this point. But if not, I highly suggest going for Incoming Fire Alert, Last Stand, Superintendent, and then Concealment Expert for your first 10 points. There are a lot of valid options for your final 9 points, which you can train in your own order of preference. But a very strong balance will include Adrenaline Rush, Basic Firing Training, and finally ifhe. This final skill may change in the future, but the proposed ifhe changes are still a long way off in the new year. Okay, let's look at what this build will mean for the ship's final stats. For survivability, Smolensk gets 32,400 hit points, which is further enhanced by having 4 repair parties. Main artillery consists of 4x4 130mm guns, 2 in the front and 2 in the rear, with 16 kilometers in range and a reload speed of 4 seconds. Smolensk gets 2x5 torpedo launchers, 1 on each side, with 8 kilometers in range, with a speed of 60 knots, but a slow reload time of 131 seconds. Smolensk gets an AA defense rating of 89, which is really quite strong, allowing for quite capable defense against air attack, out to 6 kilometers in range. For maneuverability, Smolensk gets a base speed of 35 knots, a turning circle of 750 meters, and a rudder shift time of 8.2 seconds. Finally, Smolensk has a concealment rating of 70, meaning you will be surface detected at 10 kilometers and by aircraft at 6 kilometers. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.